Hi, it's the holiday season and it's December, so we have a new character word, and I'm told it's kindness. And they said to think of an incident of kindness. And you know, I was thinking about it, and every day at West Middle School, I see little kindnesses, and they just add up and they build. I see students say to their neighbor, "Can I borrow a pencil?" They forgot their pencil. They don't give them a hassle. They just let them borrow their pencil. Little acts of kindness. Money changing hands at lunch so somebody can get a snack, or letting someone eat off stuff you brought from home. Letting a young lady walk through the door before a gentleman does. This school is so full of kindnesses, both with teachers and students, that I feel really like this is a very kind place. And I will say that the people that do unkind things, they're real loud, they get a lot of attention, but you know what? If you're looking at 100%, I'd say we've got about 95% kindness. And it's just great to see the folks at West Middle School that exhibit kindness every day.
When I think of kindness, I think of people who think more of other people than they think of themselves. I know in my life I've experienced kindness from the time that a car is torn up, or I had a flat tire and people stopped on the side of the road to help me, to a time in the past where I was in a car accident and my mom and dad had to miss work because of me, and people that I really didn't even know would come to my house and offer to help my mom and dad. They'd bring us food. They'd offer my mom and dad money because they were having to miss work. That type of kindness. When I think of kindness, that's what I think of, people who think of other people more than themselves. And one thing that I've always known about kindness is in our lifetime we'll never be able to repay people for all the kindness that they do to us, but one thing that we can do is pay that kindness forward and show kindness to other people. And I think it's very important that we focus on other people and that we try to be kind in everything that we do.
Hey everyone, I want to talk to you about kindness today. I know I can think of 100 stories to tell, one after another, but I think one of the things I'm most impressed with when I think of kindness are the things that most people don't pay very much attention to, the little ways that we work to help one another. I've seen teachers do that with students, to stop and answer a question, kind of try to find out what it is that they need when they see maybe a confused look on their face. I've seen students stop and help other students pick up a mess or something that's been dropped out on the floor. I've seen them hold doors for people. I've just seen people do just really nice things for one another, and that's just always left an impression on me. I once had somebody pay my bill at a restaurant just because they wanted to be nice. They had remembered some great things I'd done for the children in their family at the school, and they just wanted to be nice. And that was completely random, but I still remember it to this day. That's a bigger thing, perhaps a big deal, but I'm always looking for the little ways that maybe I can touch someone's life in a positive way. And that's really what I think the whole message of kindness is about.
Okay, kindness to me means that you treat others the way you want to be treated. I know that when I express kindness to someone, I can usually tell because they smile at me and they give me positive feedback, and that makes me feel good about myself. So I think kindness is very important in all of our activities, to always show a good attitude toward other people and make them feel good about themselves, which makes you feel good about yourself.
When I think about acts of kindness, I quickly realize that I can't just name one, because I think they occur every day, all day long. And sometimes we're just too busy to see them. Of course, we can remember the big ones, like Operation Christmas Child, when we send shoe boxes of gifts to kids around the world. And I certainly noticed yesterday when Taylor Linthicum pushed in all the chairs in the library without even being asked. But sometimes an act of kindness can be as simple as a smile or including somebody in a group. And I think the coolest thing about an act of kindness is that you really don't know who benefits more, the giver or the recipient.
My story about kindness is not really a story. It's more of an account about my mom. I was trying to think of a specific story, something specific that happened. But I guess what I keep coming back to is my mom. She is probably the most kind person that I know. And what I love about her is that, it's not that she's setting out, I'm going to be kind today and I'm not going to be kind to somebody. I want to treat people right. And if there's somebody in need, I'm going to help them. And that's something that she just drove in all of us to make sure that where we are, where we're sitting right now, like where I'm sitting at this desk right now, if there's a student's name that comes across my desk, or if I think about a particular situation, that it's not just I'm out to get somebody or that I'm not helping somebody, but to make sure that in the end that I am helping somebody. So that really just came from my mom. I really just think of my mom as being just the most kind person that I know, and that she teaches that, and people know her for that. I just think about her reputation. People call her Miss Marie for that name. They gravitate towards her, and when I think about how she teaches kindness and how she lives kindness, that does a lot for me. So, stories about my mom.
When I think of a great story about kindness, I think of The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. It's about a woman whose prized possession is her long, beautiful hair. And her husband, whose prized possession is his pocket watch, but it doesn't have a chain. And they want to buy a gift for each other, but they don't have enough money. So the woman cuts her hair so that she can afford to buy a beautiful chain for her husband's pocket watch. And the husband sells his pocket watch so that he can have enough money to buy a beautiful pearl barrette for her hair. And that's what I think of when I think of kindness.
Probably one of the kindest things that I've ever seen a student do was to get up when he knew one of the kids that was presenting in our room one day. None of the rest of her group came with her to present. They weren't here. It was just her. And she was very shy. And one of the students realized that she was kind of shy and raised his hand and said, "Miss Knowles, would you mind if I helped her out?" And I was so proud of that kid because he realized that she was struggling up there and she wanted some help. And he took it upon himself to raise his hand and get up there and help her. And I was very proud of him, and it was very kind of him.
In 1998, when I had breast cancer, my husband was waiting for me to come out of the operating room. And I think he was a little distressed because we had just found out that I would have to have a series of radiation treatment. And at the time, we only had one vehicle. And while he was sitting out there, a lady approached him and asked him why he was looking so worried. And his reply was that I had breast cancer, and he had just found out that I was going to have to be driving back and forth to get radiation treatment. And we only had one vehicle. And this lady was not someone who you would have thought would have cared anything about us because she didn't look like us. She was not the same color as us. But she was concerned because he was concerned. And this lady, just so happened, her husband owned a car lot. That lady waited for us until I came out of my surgery that day, got her husband, and followed us home. And her husband brought a vehicle to our home, which allowed us to use her vehicle from that car lot for 6 months so that I could have a car to be transported back and forth to Concord. That is about the kindest thing that someone has ever done for me. And it taught me a very valuable lesson that you never know where kindness is going to come from. Sometimes it comes from people who look like you. Sometimes it comes from people who don't look like you. But you can never discount who God will use to bless you. You should always be looking for kindness to come from very different places.
When I think of kindness, I think back to when I was deployed to Iraq and was already emotional time and wanted to keep in contact with my family. And a teacher here, Miss Lenore, her family gave me their computer right out of their home so we could have it, my husband would have it to contact me while I was overseas. and just everybody in general that helps that you don't even know about. We got so many care packages and Girl Scout cookies and things from parent support groups. And I think what you need to think about is when you help somebody and you're being kind, that it doesn't matter whether you know them or not, that being kind to them and helping them out in that situation, makes them feel good. And you can feel good about yourself because you have helped somebody, even if they don't know who you are. So it's good to go out and do kind things for people just to be kind.
When I think of kindness in general, I always think of my roommates I had when I was in Australia. I have never flown before. I never really moved that far away from home before. So when I went over there, needless to say, I was very, very nervous, and I didn't know what to expect. And all my roommates I had over there was 3 of them, Charlie, Stephen, and Melita. And they were all true Aussies, and they were so nice, and they took care of me. They took me places. They showed me how to get to class. You name it, if I needed anything, they were there for me. And I really wish that I saw that more often here. So I see so many times when new kids coming in, how the students who've been here kind of pick on them, like, oh, this kid doesn't know what they're doing, da-da-da. Well, maybe you should actually be more kind to them. Help them out. I mean, they're already nervous. They're already, not sure what to do. So help them out. I'm really glad that I had roommates that did that for me, because if they hadn't, I would have had a horrible time. And now Australia was one of the best moments of my life.
Many years ago, when we first started teaching, Miss Nancy and I had a student who was a really special student to us, and he would help us out sometimes. And at that time, we had 3 vocational teachers, and the teacher who taught in the woodshop class had brought a Christmas tree, a live Christmas tree, as our team Christmas tree, and he put it in my room. And this student was helping us out one day, and he said, Miss Nance, why did Mr. Wetzel get Miss Smith, I was Smith at the time, why did Mr. Wetzel get Miss Smith a Christmas tree and not get you one? And Miss Nance, being funny, said, oh, because he likes Miss Smith a whole lot more than he likes me. So the next morning, this student got up really, really early and went across the road to his house to a field and cut down a little bitty Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And he got all of his ornaments together that he had made in woodshop class and some that he had made throughout the years of his time in school. And he brought it in, and he found me early that morning, and he said, Miss Smith, I have a surprise for Miss Nance. I want to get her this tree, and I want to put it in her room, and I want to surprise her. So I let him into Miss Nance's room, and he set up the tree with the lights and the ornaments, and he hid at the back of the room. And when Miss Nance came in that morning, he jumped up and said, surprise, Miss Nance, Merry Christmas. And that was just a really special moment of kindness that I remember.
Good morning. Once again, this is Miss T. Harris, 8th grade hall. I was asked about kindness. Doing 33 years of teaching, folks, there's a lot of things, a lot of kind acts that's been performed for me and given to me by most of all my students. My family's done things, but just having a student to come up to you and give you a kind word when you're down and out. And I've learned in the past that students can tell when you are down in the dumps, feeling sad, and just come up, Miss T, can I help you? What's wrong? Are you all right? That means more to me than any gift that I've ever received. And once again, you do something kind for somebody during the Christmas holiday. Merry Christmas to all.